Hello, and welcome back, you guys, to the Diamond Conference. Today, we're going to do something special like we did last week, where we showed two games from a series. We're going to do just that again. I'm your caster for today, Let's Go Dragon, alongside of Genovici. Today, we're going to be casting for Snake versus ISU JV. Yeah, GEICSU JV team. And yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting games here, VT, don't you think?
Yep, got two teams that are. I'm probably talking about two games from the same teams, so a bit more of a complete view of the series than just the one we usually have. Uh, Unfortunate that we can't cover every series, or that every series doesn't get to have more games covered in it, but it is nice to be able to do it while we can.
Yeah, definitely so. So let's go ahead and jump right into the game here. You want to go ahead and introduce these teams to us?
Yep, starting off with the blue team for this first game is Snake, where they have Tennis 2 in the top lane with Camille, XSI in the jungle with Morgana, 50 Shades of Blade with Cassiopeia mid, Paragon with Kaisa as ADC, and Potato God playing Thresh support.
While over for the ICUJV team, or ISUJV team, sorry, we have Hankster in the top lane playing the Volley Bear, Riddy in the jungle playing Udyr. In the mid lane, we got Sun Carnivore playing the Talia, and then bot lane to round out our comp, we got VBU High Legacy and Edzernian playing the Ashe and Seraphine combo for the bot lane. Pretty nice combo to really work around Seraphine's E.
Yeah, and right off the bat, one thing to note is that attendees went Ignite TP Camille top. Now that's a bit of a less common tech choice, but it is something you see. It's taken a lot into harder matchups like the Jax, like the Volibear. Not as much for like getting kills in lane as much as it just to prevent you from getting killed in lane. It's a lot harder to all in someone with Ignite. Gives you a chance to turn a few. That's in pro play, of course, which is like where I was coming from with it. Here it just means that Tendies is likely to solo kill you more, as he's already a player that tends to do that pretty often, so that's definitely something to watch for, but it does mean that without Flash you're a lot more vulnerable to a gank from Udyr, as for those who watch pro play would know that first 3 weeks Cloud9 had gone up against Ignite Camille's top, and Labber just kind of wrecked them with it, so
Yeah,
not pro play here, but we'll see if they can at least try and take advantage of no flash.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of combat stats for the top lane. Really good for in laning phase. TP to gives you the benefit of like you can miss out a wave, but then you can use TP, so you take a bad back and just make it a nice good one. While Ignite just makes it so that you can get pretty good, like really push your advantages and have that edge over Volibear in these matchups. So really nice to see there. Pretty interesting, however. Let's go. Speaking on the side for Snake, we have a Morgana in the jungle. Don't really see that too often. Any insight for that there, Vici?
Not something you really see a lot, as you already mentioned. It's technically a viable jungler, as you do actually have pretty decent clear because of Morgana's inbuilt spell vamp on her passive to keep her healthy. Your pool actually does a lot of damage, and its cooldown is, I'm pretty sure, reduced by large monsters as well as champions. Like when a large monster or champion is standing in the pool, I believe its cooldown ticks down at half a second or a quarter of a second, something like that,
Something
with
like
every
that.
tick of damage. So it does mean that you get to have it up pretty often with the spell vamp. It's not the worst clear in the world,
Yeah,
as it's like some action top.
yeah, SSI is here in the top lane. He's already dropping the spell shield, but right now we have Hainster just doing a pretty good job of standing behind the minions, wasting their time because they know they couldn't go for this kill necessarily just yet. But successful in the terms that Hankster has backed off a little bit in this top lane, but no kill given just yet. Actually, he's going back in for the re-engage, thinking that at the side has already left. Tendy's already picking up the first blood there thanks to Ignite. Whoa.
Hamster played the early part of that gank so very well. He managed to stay right behind the minions. Tendy's got too low, had the Volibear frenzy mark on him, where when the Volibear uses a W on you, it leaves a mark, where if you W them again and it triggers, it gives you a heal. And that was a good early part of it. This is a very... Oh,
Yeah,
this could be
TP
bad.
coming out from Tendy, so he can go ahead and go for the re-engage. Hangster already using his flash, but here comes the hook shot from Tendy's. It's not going to get away from him. Slippery champion and picking up the kill thanks to the Q.
Yeah, alright. Top's doomed. Going back to the early part of what I was talking about, he played it well, forcing Tenny's back off by holding his W to maybe get the heal and just standing behind minions. Morgana was taking minion aggro and couldn't really walk up since she'd used Black Shield already. So that's a gank mid, gets the cleanse and the flash.
Oh, maybe? Okay, Riddy is going to be able to get out of there, but 50 Shades of Play is going to stay alive as well. That was, ooh, burning both flashes.
Good gank mid, gets both thumbs. Returning once again to the top lane before I was uninterrupted. He played the initial part well, but then you can't go back in a trade on that against Ignite Camille when you know Morgana hasn't fully left yet. Even then, when you don't have risk of that heal, if you go in first, and Camille just gets to turn the damage when you don't one-shot her, at least what you see there. Then XIV did a very good job just waiting, knowing the TP was coming back a bit too far forward from the Volibear, wasn't able to flash the initial stun in her tower and just dies, and that gets Tendy's 2-0 up already. And has a Sheen, he is very far ahead in this matchup, has the wave on his side, able to be frozen, and Hangster's in a very rough spot, so ISU, the junior varsity, is going to have to get a lead elsewhere.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful because Tendy is quite the monster whenever he gets pretty fed, but Hangster is not afraid. As long as he can plan out some of his trades well like he just did there, maybe he can turn out a lot better. But for now, Tendy's definitely has quite the advantage in terms of items as well as just in general. He has quite the advantage over Hangster.
Yeah, and you can kind of see how early on Volibear is good into Camille. That's her situation. Volibear is a very strong early game champion. You just QE makes it impossible to dodge. QE makes it impossible to dodge the E while they're stunned. W lets you do good extended trades, but you just chunk people to half with your full combo because of how much damage E does early. And that's where he gets to bully out Camille, but now that Camille's kind of been accelerated, she does very, very much outscale the Volibear. It's going to be rough from there, but he does manage to do a good job getting that wave crash, allowing it to reset so it doesn't get frozen on him and stay pretty even in CS. Meanwhile, Udyr doing a good job of objective game, able to just solo out the dragon as a gank mid.
Good. Looks like we're going for a gank mid. 50 Shades of Blade does get with my asthma and the Q over onto Sonic Carnivore, because Sonic Carnivore is just going to be walking away. No need to worry about anything since SSI is over there. Dragon already been taken down for the side of ISU. Now next Drake gonna need clouds. That means we're going to see either an Infernal or an Ocean Drake. Pretty interesting drakes to have. Both very, very powerful, considered most by the community.
Yeah, not really too much of a risk of dying for the Talia. He had both sums up, no flash on the Casio, so able to walk out, so ends up just being a nice chunk as do secure the dragon. Mountain's pretty good for them. They have the tanky Udyr. They have Volibear, who I'm assuming is going full tank with the items he has. Typically can be a lot of item choices on Volibear. Divine Sunder is pretty good synergy with his W. Trinity Force if you want to go really aggressive. There's even an AP build. As meanwhile, this is a very early roam from Potato God, and he's kind of dead.
Yeah, I couldn't even get a word into any of that. The cake ended as fast as it started. So good job on the roam from Potato God to really make sure the kill goes down over for Tendies to bumping up to 3-0 now.
Yeah, seeing a lot of attention put up top lane by Snake. With the 3-man roam, good timing on it as well from the Thresh coming off a back, able to just go top. Bot wave is still pretty close to his tower, so his AD isn't really at risk. Also had XSI running around through Tribush, and just able to get a very clean kill, and Camille gets very, very scary late game, and with as snowballed as she already is, that's going to be something that G&E have to shut down basically as soon as they can.
Definitely so. And then Suki in the chat saying Tendy's diff. This is typically what we see Tendy's doing a pretty good job. Even whenever he's not doing good in the early game, he somehow finds his way to pick it back up in the mid game as well. We saw very potently. He actually ran TP Ignite in previous series with Riven, but now he's doing a little bit more of the normal thing where you do it on Camille because she's also a very slippery champion with that hook shot up so often and having so much range as well.
Yeah, and this time what I would actually say that Hankster has been doing a fine job in the lane, other than just not being able to avoid all the attention that Snake's been putting up. It's been much less Tendy getting his own leads and more his team coming through for him, other than a couple small mistakes from Hankster in the first gank. As, yeah, and just the rest of his team, they do have a dragon picked up. The rest of the lanes are doing fine. So it's not like they haven't gotten nothing or fallen behind on the rest of the map, even despite the attention top. But I do think they need to get some sort of advantage back because there's not a lot they have to deal with split push Camille as the game goes forward.
Yeah, Ainster going in for a trade here, not turning out too great. They're about both have health, but I think still Camille still wins out on a lot of these fights. Smith with that hook shot over on a Ainster. Nice fast one, so he can pop the shield down, does hit hammers. Good dodge coming out of Tendies to get away from that stun, but then he is going to get hit by the Stormbringer, but unfortunately Tendies is just a little too strong right now and going to pick up that kill for himself.
That was a very good dodge on the stun with the Hextech ultimatum. Yeah, and we were just talking about the jungler attention getting the lead top, but in this case it was him getting his own lead with the lead he had already gotten.
Played in a precarious situation. He missed the ult on ulti. Here comes Ready. Soul Shackles are coming out from Exercise, so maybe make something here happen here. But Tankster is running in deep. He is with that TP home guards and getting the stun off. But now we're back in the bot lane. Zernai is going to be taken out here while Paragon is using the kill instance to get right on top of High Legacy, trying to just feed the kill over to Paragon right there. Potato dodge with the last kill. And kills going around all the map, 2 for 2 if you consider the 2 that came out from top lane and the 2 from the bot lane.
Yeah, that's very important that they got the 2 kills for GNDE. They needed something back on the map to get some sort of advantage back before Camille has hit that late game. You can see she has Triforce stun, so really a problem. But they do a good job. They managed to get a couple of picks. Unfortunately, in the bot lane where they had been going even, that all in means that they do both go down. And this is probably going to end up being another kill.
Yes, and he's having the full comfort prots already. He's just slashing and dashing over to Hankster. Trance is actually kind of even here, but Tendy's still having the advantage because he has the fully built Triforce already. And that's just going to be quite a bit of damage. As for Mints TV in the chat, yes, we only play, we stream Plat Mondays and Tuesdays on most occasions. If it's a bye week, then obviously we don't stream those games. We instead just move Diamond down to those days. But here comes Exercise and 50 Shades of Blade in a death push. Not really going to be finding anything here other than a whole team not going to be where you want to be, guys. Trying to maybe get a nice flash off. But nope. Just going to be falling down there. Exercise popping the Soul Shackles, but he's just going to fall down as well. So that's a 2 for nothing. And the Dragon has spawned up for ISU, so they'll be able to pick this one up with relative ease.
Really, really good pickup there that they managed to do. That was a good seismic shove at the end. Manages to clip both of them, get them in. Black Shield had just gone down. And really good that they got those kills. You can start to see as like top lane is far more behind. You need the rest of the team to do it. It's another kill. And yeah, things are going bad to worse top. Hankster, you really need to respect that there's not a lot you actually accomplish just by standing there. You're kind of watching him take stuff. It's not like you're getting anything from it, so just go back and heal to not die to the all-in like that, as he's going to get another wave of and more plates. But mid, they do manage to get a tower crash, get all those plates down, which is really nice for the rest of the team to get ahead, which they kind of need to be able to at least have one part of the map they're winning on, even if they can't match in the side lane.
Yeah, if they can get some of this mid pressure, it does even out a little bit in terms of like where they're able to roam around the map. If they don't have any of their side lanes, mid lane at the very least is somewhere you could run to, equal distant from any side rather than taking down both side lanes, which looks like first tower goal is going over to Snake here. Mitz, I was just gonna say, yeah, answering your question, yes, this is week 4. We do stream a week behind, like Kochki says. We do stream week behind just because then we can stream everyone's game to make sure they have time to get in all their games by Friday with the post-match form. If since we let teams go on schedule their own matches, this just works out. So that everyone gets some stream time, no one really gets left out, and we stream whoever the winners are. For this case, we're going to be streaming the whole series because we don't have enough diamond games submitted. One of them was a forfeit, so we decided to just go ahead and show both teams 2 games.
Yep, and kind of looking at the game state, you have Big League top. Everywhere else, they're kind of working on their mythics. You do see the Jungle Morgana going for the Moonstone. It's something that you see most people picking up as he's getting run down top. Okay, he's fine. It is something you see picked up a lot more often after Riot buffed it and people realized how good it was. Good on Morgana because you can pretty much keep it perma uptick with being in combat because your pool is so safe to just throw down and get in combat ticks on people. Able to go in as well. Just good support item. You see Seraphine building the same thing on the other side as both ADCs are finishing their own mythics. And meanwhile, on the map state, both side lanes are now open for Snake, and Genie's coming back on the map, and we'll see what both teams are gonna do to try and extend their lead.
Yeah, side lanes are already taken over for the side of Snake, so they have some breathing room to have. Here's another death push that XIV is trying to make happen. He is going to be caught out here. Ooh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, even landing over onto Tendies. Here comes the Encore coming out from Seraphine, but not going to be able to really get anything there. Actually, Tendies is going to be falling as well. Ready barely managed to stay alive there, and that's a 3-0 over for the ISCU. They're playing these team fights pretty well, honestly.
That was a really, really good catch from ISU. They managed to get Morgana immediately, and then they had numbers advantage collapsing on Tendies. The rest of the team wasn't there for Snake, so they couldn't respond. And if you look down at Tendies' build, he went the Ravenous Hydra Trinity Force. That's pretty much the most aggro split push 1v1 you can go. There's basically no tank stats in it, so despite doing a lot of damage, he takes a lot too, and he went in on the Udyr, who is tanky, can survive a long time against him. And that's a very important shutdown, because now the Udyr is strong, the Talia is also really strong. Ash got some kills back, and now they have Cloud Dragon as well to start stacking towards Soul. And you can split push all you want, but that doesn't mean you can just ignore the Dragon Soul, and with the kind of build Tendies has, it makes it harder to team fight around that, so as this next dragon comes up, probably another fight, and we can see if ISU can use the advantages that they've picked up to try and swing the game completely in their favor.
Yeah, they are doing a pretty good job with all of these rotates. Gold is distributed pretty evenly, despite we're minus the top lane, I should say, seeing that he had to go against Tendies himself. But as for the rest of the map, we've seen Jungler having pretty good kills. Here comes Tendies going with the hook shot, going in with the hot stake ultimatum over, and Sonic Hover, the Miasma is going to be landing over top, but the ulti is not going to be hitting. Here comes, ooh, XSI is just going to get blown up there. He doesn't have stopwatch yet in order to stop, to guarantee his soul shackles, so that's going to be Jungler down over for Snake, while it looks like ISU will be rotating to this Drake here. They don't want to necessarily give this up too free because that will put them in a very awkward spot of it, you know, Soul being given out.
Yeah, really good response from GNE. Good restraint from Sudden Carnivore. He was got on by Snake. Tendies managed to land on him. He had Cassio DPSing him down, but held on to both summoners, kind of just walked out with all the healing and support from Seraphine and the rest of his team. Then XSI had flash ulted in, but got blown up before he could connect the second part of the soul chains, because he went for the Moonstone first, he doesn't have the Zanyas yet, or even a stopwatch to be able to stall out that little bit longer he would have needed. Instead, just gets picked off, and with Jungler dead, that means Soul Point picked up for GNE, and Infernal Soul's a pretty dang good one that you really don't want to be giving over.
Yeah, Infernal Soul is going to be a lot of damage, and you've seen in these team fights that Sun and Carnivore is already doing so much damage. So getting Infernal Soul on top of that means that people are going to be blown up, and you don't want that to happen, especially when your team's already not in a great position as they are. Not to mention like some of the poke that's going to be coming out from like High Legacy and Inzernium. it's just going to be a lot of damage that you don't want to be taking for free. So you're going to be definitely trying to contest for these net strikes because they don't want to give it up that easily, at least.
Yeah, the thing about an Infernal Soul is it has an internal cooldown on when it procs. I believe it's every 3 seconds you get a charge of it, and your next damage you do procs the Infernal Soul. So it's really good on the champs like Ashe that are just throwing out cooldowns every couple of seconds to get constant procs of the Infernal Soul. As Tendies is going to get another solo kill, but good flash, and now he's sinking tower, and Talia's coming in.
It is here to look and maybe see if make something happen. Hookshot is going to switch over to Sun and Carnivore with a nice headstuck ultimatum to follow alongside Sun and Carnivore. But he's on the wrong side of the tower and now he needs to try to get out of here. Seeing how it will go, Big Hamster is getting actually a little collapsed on because Exercise in the area, but here comes the Encore, actually going to go a little bit wide over on the ADC. Tendies is able to walk out of there thanks to escort from Exercise, but alright, kill delivered over to Tendies as well. He saw the binding hit and he knew he had to go in. Here comes the rest of the squad from ISU. They are trying to rotate over to this bot side. And I don't want to give up these split pushing towers, at least for free. Have some respawns so show some resistance.
Yeah, that was just well played by Tendies. He managed to dodge the stun yet again, ulted over, got onto the Talia who had missed her seismic shove, and just nuked her with the Camille damage. And at the end, another kill donated over, and there was a while where pretty even, and it's still only 2k gold down, but you're starting to see just how hard the side lane is going to be for Genie going forward, and it's only going to get worse as Camille continues to scale up, has an Executioner's done, probably working on Hysterics, which lets her tower dive even easier, can just run in, chunk you under tower, lifesteal back up with the Ravenous, then go back in and finish you off if you don't back off for her. And even in the 2v1, if you don't play it perfectly with CCing the Camille with Volibear before the Seismic Shove and then chaining it together, then otherwise Camille just, if she dodges it, makes it really rough, and I think Volibear's probably dead again here.
Yeah, Tendies is just on the advance over for Hank. Hank did not get a break. He's just trying to get some minions, actually having to blow the ulti in order to get out of there from Tendies, which is going to be good enough for him. Paragon grabs the lantern in time before the wall hits, while Riddy unfortunately did not get past the wall before the train hits him. He's just going to be stuck on the other side, really stopping that advance forward. Dragon spawns up here in about a minute. They're looking for an engage over on a Riddy here. Here comes Tendi, but so does the rest of the squad of everyone else. Here comes Paragon, gets hit by the Ash Arrow, cleanses it away. But here's 4 member of ISU JV. They're in the area. They're looking for something to happen. And then 50 Shades of Blade is in the top lane with no TP, so he won't necessarily be there if the fight does break out. He is looking to go for a further push here, but 2 are recalling here while Exercise making his way down mid lane towards the Dragon to see if they can go ahead and take that down.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting map state that's going on because you had the Cassio top lane pushing with no TP, so you really want to be using that time as Genie to get vision down when you know they can't join in. You have your full team in the area. You can get vision. It's really hard for the enemy team to face check when you have Ashe, Talia, Seraphine that you're running into, but instead they backed off, got some health bars, and now the fight's starting over Dragon.
Yeah, the hook does land over onto the Seraphine. He is going to get blown up before the Encore comes out. Paragon's still doing a lot of damage. Tendies jumping right into the thick of it while Hamster is just caught left behind. Tendies is in the thick of it, but he is going to fall down. Unfortunately, it's okay because his team's all here. Paragon's on the line. Look at him go. But he's just going to be slowed up a little bit. Shield from Exercise to maybe stop some of these slows, but unfortunately not going to be enough here. They're just going to go ahead and move on to this Infernal Drake.
You know, not really sure what Riddy was doing there. He kind of just ran into enemy-controlled territory way ahead of his team, got chunked out before the fight even started. Did a really good hook from Potato God, who's on the flank. They went right past him, trying to help out the Udyr. Got the Seraphine, wasn't able to use that game-changing ultimate, wasn't able to get her own healing off, and that just means that Snake end up winning the fight. They stop the Dragon Soul for another round, extend their gold lead to 3.5k now, and start to take that advantage. And that goes back to what I was saying about you want to be in the area before the Dragon actually spawns. You don't want to be coming into the other team. You want to be the one forcing them to walk into you. And they didn't do that, walked in and got picked off and died.
Yeah, they did walk in and die there, which is pretty unfortunate. Like you said, a little late to the party, so they had to walk in on the Snake squad. So now we're looking over towards this Baron area. That's the only neutral objective that's left on the board here. We have almost all the outer towers left over for the side of Snake, so they are sitting in a pretty comfy spot. In order to step up like they are, trying to go for a little bit more here. Tendy's actually roaming in a little bit into this bot lane jungle while he's split pushing, while trying to see draw away some attention. He does have his TP available if a Baron fight would ensue, but we'll just have to see. First, the gank coming out from 50 Shades of Blade. He's just going to get stun locked right there. He does get the petrifying gaze over, but it's not going to be enough in order to save him. They are going to go down, but Tendy's already take down another tower for his team.
Yeah, but that's a good response from Genie. You need to get something on the map rather than just let Camille have free reign. Way to deal with split push is either attack the split push or try and kill her, or you force a fight somewhere else while she's pushing and unable to join. Here they were able to do that, get a tower of their own, kind of slow down the pressure that Snake was putting on them. Because it is one thing that I want to say about the comp that Snake has put together. You do want to force, and you have tools to force with the Ash Arrow, with the Udyr just running in with Ken Tank, with the Seraphine follow-up. It's a lot harder though against the Morgana of XIV who can Black Shield the initial arrow or whatever other form of engage, which makes it a lot harder when Tendy's is pushing, and you need to be pushing him off and then trying to force a fight elsewhere before he can really get going on his split push. And I would like to see more opportunities taken for that by G&D, like the one that happened top lane, even though it is harder against the Morgana.
Yeah, definitely so. Good points made all around. For now, we're just going to be seeing if ISU is able to maybe take a little bit of a turnaround here against Snake. They are about 4k gold down, so an item and then some change. War just about, so not in a great position, but then again, a lot of this gold is concentrated over onto Tendies as well as a little bit over for Paragon, so it's not necessarily like everyone is really strong on the side of Snake, but those two are going to be quite titans in order to try to overcome here. Seeing that we are hovering around this Baron side area, they're the first ones here, so they have a little bit of the priority. Wow, already going to be using that cleanse, and you need to be careful here because the hook comes out over on the Sonic Governor. He's going down. Tendies is already here. He's diving into the backline. He's looking. That's a huge amount of damage on the high legacy. Now Paragon also into the thick bit. Hookshot does land against the wall, and Zerm is the next target on Tendies' list. He's still on the onslaught. He's looking for it. Hangster also in the area to drop down that slow maybe. But it is just going to be deterring away Tendies while this Baron is going to be taken down. Tendies is here. He's looking for maybe a 2v1 scenario. Going to get stun locked just a little bit here, but we'll have to see. He goes ahead and kills Riddy there using his Q. Now he's looking for Hangster, getting a little bit more revenge, or I guess not even a revenge, but he's just going to show who's the bully in this top lane. There it is, another double kill for the Tendies with the ace.
Yeah, and I mentioned that I wanted Genie to look for more forces when Tendies wasn't quite set up in his split push, and there they just went for the wrong kind of force. They push deep into enemy jungle, try to get some Baron vision, as we were talking about with the dragon, but when you do that, you gotta let the actual frontliners lead the way. You can't have your Talia going face first into the binding, into the hook. Cassio with the miasma. They pushed past the enemy wards too, didn't do a good job of securing their flanks. That lets Tendies set up a TP behind them, able to get on the back line and nuke them down while they were trying to disengage. And now it's just going from bad to worse as they're cut out again.
Oh man, Tendies just lose so much damage. He's trying to go on the Southern Corridor, but here comes the arrow coming out. So Tendies is going to be maybe getting out of there, but no, Riddy is there to catch him on the end. Picks up that kill thanks to his slash. So nice shutdown over for Riddy, but the Drake is spawning up here. They might want to fight for it, especially because Tendies is down now, but they still have to worry about the rest of the team. Hangster is going to be hit by the hook and the binding over there, but the Weaver's Wall is not going to be here soon enough. Riddy now looking to go around the back, seeing if you maybe get a nice position off, or at least catch someone out. Etsusai is by himself. There goes the Blast Plant, but oh no, Riddy, you're caught in a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately that rock is approaching you. He is going to be falling down there, and here comes the rest of the squad. Already working onto this Baron. Paragon's just diving out in the deep, using the Gale Force to get a little bit extra damage off over onto Sudden Carbonel. He's just going to get CC chained down by High Legacy and Encore, or by the Encore as well, and he's going to be falling as well.
There was a chance there for Genie to maybe get the Infernal Soul, maybe get the game back to more even footing. They got the pick on Tendies, who got a bit too hypey under tower when the Talia had a stopwatch. Good bait there by Sudden Carnivore. But then they went into the jungle and they separated. Udyr went one way, the bot lane was a bit behind, or the DPS was a bit behind with the Ashe and the Talia, and Volibear just face tanked a bush. He's only 2 items, not very tanky, and they managed to blow him up. Then Udyr was in a bad spot where he was running around. They caught him out too, and chance to get Infernal Soul went by the wayside, and now they're in a bad spot again with Tendies looking for another kill.
Tendies is being a proactive aggressor here. He is going to be able to take the Lantern out of there. Really nice done by Potatoes God. Potatoes God might be the one killed instead. He needs another sacrifice. Here comes Udyr running on in. Ooh, Gaze! Petrifying Gaze coming out of 50 Shades of Blade. That's like a 3-man, but we still have Hangster going in deep to fill out Potato God. They want to take someone. That's 2 people actually. They're already taking down 2. Here's Sun Carnivore is now left pretty much alone. We do have the Seraphine that is up now, but just over in the base. He's going to have to try to maybe get out of there, but here comes the rest of the squad. 50 Shades of Blade on the other side of the wall, able to pick up that kill for himself, and now we're going back to pushing some of these lanes, exerting so much more pressure.
Yeah, decent fight attempt. They managed to get Tendies down. Went in a bit too hypey again, got exhausted, got taken very low before it even started. But at this point, it's a little bit late for it to be happening. The Kai'Sa has also scaled up into being a monster. Cassio's very strong. Their front line is a bit behind. Not quite as tanky as they needed to be to absorb attention from the rest of the team. And so a 4-for-2 fight, not the worst outcome they could have. At least they got shutdowns, but they're still 10k gold down, and they're still struggling to find ways back in this game.
And there are still ways to get back here. They have a pretty good team fighting comp, but right now they can't really necessarily do that. Just because Tendies is strong. 50 Shades of Blade, he's getting strong now because with his 3 items working on a 4th, as well as Paragon at 4 items actually, working on his next one. So those 3 are very strong, but we can do maybe a few more of these picks, maybe on Tendies, maybe on 50 Shades of Blades, on Paragon, whoever's caught out there. You can do a couple more of these picks. It is going to buy you enough time to maybe scale up back into this game and even out some of these gold differences, where it doesn't matter how much gold you have if you're all level 18 with fully built. Riddy actually getting pretty aggressive looking for the pick here. Tendies is going to be spell shielded, so you won't be able to get stunned up right there. The rest of the squad is coming in, but so is Tendies. He's going deep. Good Encore coming out. That's like a 3-4 man on right there, but Hangster is just going to die while he's trying to do his Stormbreaker. Paragon flashing into the deep of it, while Tendies is still alive. He's just not going to die. That's a quadra kill for the Kai'Sa. Let's see, maybe they can go ahead and go for this last one, but Killer Instinct has already been prodded. Tendies is still on the hunt, able to pick it up with his sweeping blade.
Yeah, and you can see where that 10k gold lead comes into effect, as this game is going to end in Snake's victory. Good team fight. You can see how low some of the members got for Snake, but just too far behind. Too late of a good team fight to try and take advantage of their comp from GNE, as the Nexus is going to go down, and Snake is going to take game number 1 of the series. Or maybe game number 2. I'm not sure which games these are that we're covering from.
Well, if any,
might even be game 3.
Yeah, in any case, this is going to be the first game for Snake they're taking in this case. Really good job. Just really putting on the pressure for top lane for Tendies to get ahead, and after Tendies got ahead, he was able to bring some of that gold over to the ADC, and then 50 Shades of Blade. We saw some of those team fights where it was really close, and because Tendy died in the early parts, but the damage already done, he did quite a bit of work, while Paragon was able to pick it up, while 50 Shades of Blade was able to pick it up, and because of that, their carries got online. Well, unfortunately, the front line, as well as the carries from ISU JV, weren't able to just yet. Quite the game we had, we just saw there. And we'll be right back. We'll take a quick break here, and then we'll be showing you the next game from this series to show you, uh, just basically to show you whoever won the last part of it. Let's go ahead and go right into break. See ya. And we're back once again. Here we go. We just saw the first game of the series of Snake versus ISU. Tennis was a monster, and then eventually Paragon became a monster in 50 Shades of Blade. But now let's see if ISU is able to come back versus Snake here in this next game. So without any delay, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Gonna go ahead and introduce this blue side to us.
Yep. On the blue team, we have G&E ISU University with Hankster 2002 playing Mordecai's in their top lane, Riddy with Dr. Mundo in the jungle, Sudden Carnivore taking Lucian mid with VBU High Legacy, and Exernian playing Sivir Seraphine bot.
Yeah, pretty cool comps over here on the blue side, but over on the red, we have Snake once again. Tenny's in top lane playing the Dior, more traditionally with the Flash tight TP. Etzasai in the jungle with the Gragas. In the mid lane, we got 50 Shades of Blade playing the Zed. And for the bot lane, we have Paragon and Potatoes God back in it again, but this time with Kaisa and Thresh, which is, I think, what they had last time too, right? We remember seeing a Thresh and Kaisa.
Yes, same bot lane from Snake. As meanwhile, see the Seraphine support as well, so only thing changed bot lane is Sivir. I did want to talk about the Sivir a little bit, because for most of the time she's been a champ, it's been crit build, late game your bounces just do insane damage, you hyperscale, until then you're just kind of a wave clear champ. But you'll notice that this Sivir has taken Dark Harvest and Tear, which Dark Harvest is not the typical rune for a crit champ, which is because Sivir is no longer played as a crit champ most of the time. Now you usually go Man Immune with like believe it's Duskblade is the mythic, but you're going full lethality and pretty much you still have the wave clear, less AoE guns in teamfights, but it's kind of like lethality Varus in that your Sivir Q is absolutely massive and will chunk people for tons and tons of damage, just from very extreme range. Makes her pretty safe, especially with the on the hunt and spell shield. So safer poke Varus with a bit less hard engage, as going back into the most important matchup for any Snake game, which is top lane, where in the first game, Hankster had a slightly advantageous matchup, but jungler came and kind of ruined him, and then he fell far behind, and Tendies did Tendies things. This game, Tendies has the very favorable matchup, whereas very, very good into Mordekaiser, able to just dodge or riposte his skill shots and does more DPS. Mordekaiser takes you to Death Rim, and you say, cool, I wanted the 1v1 anyway, and just pretty rough. So we'll see if he can actually hold on this time, even though he's in an even worse matchup than in Game 1.
Yeah, maybe this is the plan coming from ISU. They decided, it's like, maybe we should go try to win against top lane and go for maybe a weak-sided matchup and instead go for the Mordekaiser. But right now, hook lands for Potato God. That was a really good hook there. I wouldn't think it was going to land, but able to get some good poke off over on a high legacy. We're seeing him at only at like 75 HP right now, 75%.
Yeah, it was a good hook, but pretty even trade back, all things considered. This time we see the top lane gang coming in for ISU. They might be able to, and they are.
Able to pick up the kill there over on Tendies First Blooded. So that's pretty unfortunate for Tendies, but we've seen him also come back from these positions before as well. We'll just have to see if Tendies can. He already picking up that second Doran's Blade and looking to actually go for a pretty aggressive TP here. He's going through a little bit of trading as well. Not knowing that Riddy's still in the area, but I think Riddy's a little too low in order to try to make something happen just yet.
Yeah, that's a good gank on the top side, trying to relieve some of the pressure on the Mordekaiser. He's at a pretty stable point once he gets Bramble and Tabbies to at least survive the matchup. But you can kind of see where Yora's just wrecking him in the long lane, and it was a good gank, but now the lane is frozen on Snake's side of the map. It's very, very hard for Hankster to walk up and try and get it back. So if Tendies just leaves it there, it's really, really rough lane state to kind of make up for the gank. But you do see Bramble on Mordekaiser. He's TPing back, and it looks like Tendies pushed the line anyway. So this is your daily lesson from a top laner. Keep your freezes, folks. They're sometimes a lot better than just pushing.
Being able to keep the freeze would prevent Hank from walking up so far, because we've seen Tendies just walk at Hankster and just wins a lot of these trades. But for now, instead going for the push, maybe he's looking for a little bit of a better back for himself. Hankster already picking up the Bramble Vest for himself, so it's helping him a little bit in these trades as well, reducing some of the healing that Fiora has with her kit, as well as returning some of this damage that she's dishing out. But nonetheless, it is still a pretty tough matchup to be surviving in.
Yeah, and focusing a little bit away from the top lane and going down towards mid, which is another very volatile matchup. You have the Lucian versus Zed. Both can do some... I think both have potential to win lane. One side you have Ignite, the other side Exhaust for the Lucian. So pretty much whichever champ gets a lead is the champ that I'm pretty sure is going to win it hard. Bot lane a lot less exciting. You have a Sivir, you have a Seraphine. They're just going to perma shove you. Price is just going to farm it up. Not a lot of action there. Jungle, meanwhile, Mundo's a bit on the less common side, but we have seen him more in the jungle. And in fact, I think he's more play jungle than top lane now, as you just have a pretty decent clear. Mundo actually has some kind of nuts base damages, and then scales just into a big meatball team fighter like a lot of the junglers nowadays do. And yeah.
I'm pretty interested to see the Mundo rework that they've been hinting at that we're going to be getting, I believe next year is going to be the Udi year, but for now, we're actually going to be seeing some action over in the top lane. We have Tendy's already pulling the ulti, pulled into the Death Realm as well. He's trying to maybe get the last bit of procs over onto Hainster, but Hainster is actually picking up the kill as well as Sudden Carnivore 50 Shades of Blade, a little too far deep into this tower dive, and actually going to get killed out here. All sums burned from, almost all sums burned top lane, where Tendy still has his flash available, while Sun and Carnivore and 50 Shades of Blade using both ults and both sums.
Yeah, that was really, really good by Genie. They win the 1v1 in both solo lanes. Really good job. As fight starting here might turn into more as Mundo's just going where he pleases.
Yeah, Mundo does go where he pleases. He's doing a little bit of a stat check over onto the enemy team. He is able to get out of there thanks to his flash. He's not level 6 yet, so he won't be healing up just yet. Dragon has spawned. Tendy's again going for the aggression play, going on ahead and using his flash to jump onto Hainster while he's going to go ahead and procs everything. I think he heard you in the chat there, Zulfer, where you said Hainster death, and he's going ahead and pick up a return kill finally for himself, sitting at 1 and 2. Here comes the rest of the squad at this Dragon here. Paragon a little bit out of position, but so is Sun Carnivore. He did get hooked here. Paragon still just taking a lot of damage, able to actually get picked up there by the flash and the Q from Sivir. So he's going to be going down, as well as possibly this Drake here if they decide to continue on forward.
A really good win in the bottom side fight. They managed to get it off. They have a superior team fight at this stage in the game. You have the Seraphine, you have the Mundo just running at you. Very good win. Mountain Drake's pretty important. On top, we saw Tendy's get a solo kill back though, and Hankster did a good job with his first solo kill. Got it pushed up, but then repeated some of the mistakes we saw from the first game. Stayed a little bit too long under tower, trying to hit it for plates, and Tendy's just got back and chased him down. Had actually bought, Hankster hadn't yet with the solo kill, had still been a bit lower, and able to just get him again and re-equalize top lane after getting the advantage. But you do have the tabbies now done as well. Bramble tabbies is kind of like the thing you go versus Fiora in the top lane, so you can at least stabilize that part. And this is a pretty even stage of the game. I'd say Mordekaiser's starting to turn online with Q spam. Fiora not really at her strong power spikes yet. She's fairly weak until she gets a couple of items. So a decent part of the game as Gragas sees him pushing up and now he's going to look to turn it. But you also have to watch out for Mordekaiser Death Realm.
Yeah, here's Death Realm. SSI is going to be pulled into it. He is running away a little bit, dodging away some of his abilities, but the passive is going to be procs over for Hainster. Metal Storm is here, but he is just going to be CC'd. SSI is able to live out through the Death Realm, while Tendy is looking to go ahead and drop the heal over himself. And SSI picking up the kill thanks to his cask.
Yeah, that was close. Hankster gave it his best shot, but when you're pushed up that far and Gragas comes from behind you at full HP, even if you can Death Realm him, keep it a 1v1 for a while, if you aren't able to kill him in that time, the phase rush just means he gets to kite away from you and Fiora finish you off. Some try and hug the wall to prevent the Vital being procced by the Fiora, but Tendy's managed to sneak it in. Is now Reddy's going to give a fight an attempt, and he's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's a lot of minions right there, so Tendy is able to pick up the kill. SSI even in the area to make sure that the kill would go down for an even trade, but Tendy's just doing Tendy's things and able to actually win out that fight.
Yeah, you came a little bit close, but Tendy's outplayed again. He managed to get all the vital procs off, and that is not something you want to see as the top laner. Fiora just got a kill from you with the jungler camp. Your jungle then comes up and gives her another one in a matchup where you're already having a bit of a problem. But now he's actually coming a bit back into it as he lands the Death's Grasp. Might be able to chase down, but can't. But you can see the trade's going okay, but Gragas is here again.
Gragas is here. There comes the cast, so do a little bit more damage to keep him in the lane. SSI has space for us, so he's running in there, trying to, once again, try to take down a Hainster, but here comes Riddy, already using the Turtle Kentang, and he's looking for 2 kills here, 1 down for himself. Now over to Tendy's. Let's see if he can maybe do it. Cleaver lands on a minion, but I don't think he'll be pushing any further forward, because he learned his lesson from last time when Tendy's killed him and overestimated how much damage that Tendy's would do, or how much damage he would do against Tendy's.
Yeah, at least manages to turn it into a 1-for-1, but you're starting to see just all the attention that's been put top lane. Both teams see it as a point you really want to get shut down, and Hangster is starting to fall a bit more far behind, but does now have a Seekers as well. That's what you can do as Mordekaiser into full AD matchups is you go Seekers, you go Tabbies, you go Bramble, have a ton of armor that's good against a champ like Fiora who's autoing you a lot because I believe her Q counts as an auto, at least for
Yeah.
on hit and whatnot.
Yeah, it applies on hit, which is why the Sheen's super good, so I imagine it would count. Similar to like Gameplay Q, I think it also counts as an auto attack. Uh, I mean, to really test, I guess you can just get Shen's Refuge and really try it out. But in any case, it looks like Hazer is going for the full defensive build. Fortunately, that means he will have a delay over towards his Mythic item. But as long as you can keep down this Fiora and not make her any stronger than she is already, I'd say it's still pretty worth, even if you have to take a little bit of an L for yourself. At least it's not going to be an L for your team just yet.
Yeah, I like the approach he's taking to it. You can see his trading is going okay, but he is getting kind of low, so you have to be careful. But with all the attention top lane, something that's been neglecting a bit is looking down bot lane where it's actually 50 CS lead for Paragon. And this should not be happening in this sort of matchup. Sivir's always been known as a champion who just always wave clear on. You throw a Q, you press W, wave's dead. Congrats, enemy doesn't get to interact with you. Even if Thresh walks up, you can spell shield the hook. You have exhaust Seraphine with her ult to turn if they try a full all in. But being down this much CS anyways isn't really the best sign. Haven't really been watching what's going down there because of how much everyone's been putting attention top. So can't know for sure. Maybe it wasn't their fault, but not something you want to see when all the attention's been top and what's been left to your own devices. That's your 40 CS down.
Here comes Tendies. He is pulled into the death realm, but like you said, he does like the 1v1s here. Going to use the or pause in order to block away that Death's Grasp, and is going to be picking up the kill. Solo kill for Tendies. He's now 3-2, picking up the Essence Reaper here. I actually didn't know that would be something you would build normally. But, I mean, mana gain, ability haste, deals extra damage because it's a Sheen passive. Why not?
Yeah, it's been kind of the standard for your build. I believe it's Essence Reaver into the Shield Bow is a fairly standard one. I know Gore Drinker, when it was busted, was taken at one time. Also Stridebreaker. Yeah, it was Stridebreaker. Shield Bow was a bit before that. Stridebreaker became as known for being OP as it is. Stridebreaker is really good on Fiora because it gives you an extra dash to really quickly proc your vitals. And yeah, with the Essence Reaver done, able to win the 1v1 a lot easier. Hangster still pushing up, isn't letting it freeze on his side, so just gets run down and killed. And now their first tower down is the hook lands bot.
Yeah, Potato God does land a hook here, but the flash encore coming out of Ethernet in order to try to stop some of this engage. And to finish off, cherry on top, we done the exhaust over to Paragon to really make sure he knows, like, you're not getting a kill here. Well, looks like in the top lane, the kill might be going down for Tendies. He is pushing a little bit more forward. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but so is Hangster. They're looking quite low, but it looks like Hangster is going to be winning out. Then, thanks to his 1,000,000 armor plus a little bit extra health. Ready also in the jungle here to really stop XIV from getting away from here. There he goes, one last cleaver, picks up the kill on the XIV. And helping even out some of this gold lead here, seeing that now it's only about 1.5k gold. You're going to have to go ahead and drop the Rift Herald. It's at 15 minutes, so no turret plating is going to be going down, unfortunately. No kills worth of gold. But regardless, we'll still use that to push a tower or so.
Yeah, and that's a really important 1v1 to win. Tendies getting a bit too hypey as Hangster is able to get a return kill that you kind of need to stay relevant for as long as possible in the 1v1 to stop Fiora from getting whatever she wants. Meanwhile, Jungle Mundo outduels Jungle Gragas hard, especially when that Gragas is going full AP, as AP champs don't do too well into Mundo with his very high regen, and AP champs generally low DPS. Plus Mundo gets 45% MR on his E, but they're getting chased down top, and we'll see if they can get away from it.
Yeah, Tendi's already using the flash. Seeing he drops the ulti over onto Hanks, knowing that he could probably kill him faster, a lot better than the Mundo, seeing that Mundo has escaped already. Now, it's a SSI sees Seraphine in the bot lane, rotate over from Paragon as well, and we're trying to maybe get some kill there. There comes the Explosive Cats to give over the kill from Paragon. Quite a bit of damage coming out from behind Legacy, but SSI just doing a good job of blocking him and giving another kill over to Paragon. So that's a double kill over for the Kaisa. While over here in the jungle, we're seeing Riddy a little too far forward in his own jungle. It's just going to be claimed by Tennies as well as Potatoes are cool. Now we're looking for yet another tower dive. We see a flash coming out, but instead it's going to be the body slam to stop him from flashing any too far forward. Tennies picking up a kill there as well.
And disaster strikes all across the map for G&E. They got chased down top, dove way too far trying to get that towering that collapsed on, and chased down. Bot lane, Gragas was then there, they were able to get him. Top jungle, they got another kill as well. Then mid lane, just grabbing up as they collapsed. Got the mid tower, now it's 4k gold, 4.5k gold ahead for Snake. And yeah, the Fiora has her shield bow done, so now Mordekaiser absolutely never wins the 1v1. Do like that he's going for the more tank build, Wishmaker nerfs make it kind of a rough item to go for, and at least having Sunfire, you last a bit longer in that 1v1. But with shield bows, lifesteal, and just shield from the item, you aren't able to get those solo kills that we have seen him get a couple of top. And while on the rest of the map, Kai'Sa's really, really strong. That's not too big, but you can always get him. But they are collapsing inside if you're going Tendies.
You're looking for Tendies. Encore does go wide, so that means Tendies goes free over onto the ADC. Now Seraphine is falling down. Here comes the Death Realm coming out of the Painter, but that's not exactly what you want, because now you're just giving the Tendies the ones that you so want. And there he goes. Ooh, gonna get Explosive Cast away to really guarantee that the kill is not going to be given over. Now Tendies is on the run. He's looking for yet another one. He's going to go ahead and get pulling down a little bit, but here comes the rest of the squad from Snake. Able to take down one kill onto Dr. Mundo, while Southern Carnivore has to run away. He won't be able to save his team there or make anything, any sort of a turnaround right there.
That was about as rough as it could go from Genie. They tried to 4v1 Tendies, but misplayed it almost as hard as you can. They had someone die before the TP came in, where Sivir walked into melee range. Then Seraphine was in melee range trying to help out. Got bursted down. Right as she went down, Mordekaiser Death Realm Fiora to try and save Seraphine, but that means Mundo couldn't help DPS the Fiora, and he just got beat on the 1v1. That all gives time for Gragas to get there. They turn it around completely. Tendies with the triple kill in the 1v4. Technically 2v4 as Gragas showed up, but it was basically a 1v4 for a while. And that's just kind of what I assume is going to be the nail in the coffin in this game. Now 6.5k behind. Fiora is completely unstoppable. And Snake have full control of the map, as what are you doing that far up again?
Hainster is caught out yet again by Tendies. Tendies looking to pick up the kill. All this armor, but it's not going to be saving him from these vital procs. Let's go ahead and check out how much gold that each team has. Seeing Tendies, he has almost the entire gold lead on his back right now. He has 4k gold on himself. That's a whole item above. You see that once I switch on back over in the jungle. We're seeing actually Mundo doing pairing a little bit better than the Gragas by about 700. Mid lane is pretty much dead even. We haven't talked a lot about mid lane because there hasn't been a lot happening in the mid lane either. While for the bot lane, we're seeing that we have a pretty huge gold advantage. The rest of the gold lead for the Snakes is on Paragon, seeing that he is about 3k gold above. Now Riddy looking to make another kill for himself while on the Snakes, or 50 Shades of Blade here, but at the side also in the area, so he's going to be trying to make something happen here. Explosive Cast over on the Riddy, make sure he really doesn't get out of here. Ulti from the Death Mark, here comes the hook. It's just an onslaught of things going back and forth. 50 Shades is also just going to be able to just reposition himself, but Paragon's going to be flying on in to pick up the kill there. Tendies is looking to see if he can DPS the Seraphine under tower. Does go ahead and do that, while Hangster is looking for the 1v1 of 50 Shades Blade. He is the weaker member here, considering how much armor you have, so you don't have to really worry about that. We really need to worry about all these other members on the Snake squad. When he comes out of the Death Realm, he's going to be taken up by Potatoes God, and that's an ace for Snake.
Yep. bad to worse. Now 9k down. They kind of went in one at a time. You saw how long Mundo can live in those kind of fights. He was 1v3 for a while, just running back and forth as they tried to kill him. Eventually, Kaisa caught up and finished the job. She actually has DPS. As that is going to be the surrender. Genie realized how the game is going. They were pretty much out of it from a certain point ago, but know that from here there's definitely no chance, as that is going to be the 2-0 for Snake as they continue to go undefeated through Diamond Caps.
Yeah, they are quite the force to be reckoned with right now. They were very. You're seeing the Tindies doing a really good job. They tried to maybe draft a little bit different matchup where into the Mordekaiser, or maybe even I'm not exactly sure. You could probably check if you look at the matches. Yeah, the match history of it. But they probably picked up the Mordekaiser first, and then Tendies picked into the Fiora, where it just does a pretty bad job. Maybe and Tendies was just able to pull it out really strongly there. It's like good job with his roams. We didn't really talk about him for a little bit, but SSI doing a good job with his ganks going around the map, making sure he gets some of those off. Mid lane was pretty much an island, which you usually talk about that top lane is, but nevertheless, top mid lane was an island that game. And yeah, overall, it looks like Snake's going to be moving on up to 3-0, while Genie is going to be moving to 2-2. Any lasting thoughts before we go ahead and end off the stream here?
Now kind of just better game for Snake. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you in all our future streams.
Yeah, so that's been our stream here. I've been Resco Dragon, he's been Genovici, and we will be signing off. Bye bye.